Yeah, last time, I mean, it was pretty much just the bank heist. Um, Against Knick Knack, Paddywhack, the old man, and the dog. Um, as the dog tried to roll home, the got stopped by a barricade man, and who took it to the vet. Um, and you all kind of dealt with the aftermath, talking to the police and all that, and left before the media showed up. We're gonna start the next day. We open really early, about 6 a.m. outside the veterinarian's office, where we see Barricade Man just standing there waiting anxiously. And as he stands there, the door just suddenly kind of pulses and then folds in on itself. And standing inside, slightly hovering over the ground, is the veterinarian he had left the dog with. And he looks at her awkwardly and, like, not sure what to do. And she motions for him to follow as she floats back to the back of the room. And warily on guard, he follows her back and gets to where the dog is. And the dog's sitting up on a table, and she places her hand on the dog as she moves behind it, uh, and the dog kind of tilts its head, and she begins to speak, saying, "You have freed us from the bondage they had placed me in. Now I need your assistance. My home is in danger." And before Barricade can respond, the dog's eyes flash and they're gone, leaving a confused woman standing in an empty room.
The dog character.
All right.
That pumpkin was dynamite.
Cut to Fee as you have a strange dream, feeling weightless, as you suddenly come to and realize you're floating in water, as your entire room appears to be completely full, from floor to ceiling.
Okay.
The strange thing is, you do notice, you realize that you're not at a loss for oxygen. It appears you're effectively breathing underwater.
I'm going to reach my hands up to my neck and sort of search for gills.
No gills.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
And as you look around, you notice, even more oddly, is it's not actually touching anything in your room except for you. Anything, it's slightly above any surface or item. There's like a thin layer of air keeping whatever it is in your room from actually getting wet. So the water is effectively floating in the middle of the room.
Okay. When I move, does the water move with me?
It moves as you would expect water to move if you were swimming.
Okay.
You, however, are completely in the water. You don't have that layer of air around you.
Right, I'm completely encompassed in it. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try to dissipate the water. And I'm going to do so just by simply trying to will it away. However I've willed it into existence, I'm going to try to will it out of existence.
Go ahead and roll Unleash.
Yeah. Full hit.
As you try to focus in on it, you can feel that it is responding to your abilities as you try to dissipate it out somehow. As far as I'm recalling, you've never actually created the water. You've always used it around. You haven't ever knowingly willed it into existence, as far as I understand your powers. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. And it does seem to very, very slowly be receding as you realize what's happening is effectively the room as much as you would like it to be, isn't completely airtight to the outside, and you're basically sending it very slowly out through the cracks, like around their windowsill, basically.
Hmm.
And it's taking quite a while, but it is very, very slowly going as water just kind of streams down the side of the house as it comes out. Until eventually you do manage to get all of it, and as you stand, I'm assuming you dried yourself off as you did this too, so
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And so once the water is finally out, everything else seems to be normal in your room. Nothing is wet or soaked or anything.
Right. First thing Fee's gonna do is she's gonna start getting changed because she wants to go visit Dr. Blackwell because clearly something's going on that she doesn't understand and she knows she can't talk to her parents about it. Plus, there's a good chance that Stryker might be there, so she is gonna go talk to Dr. Blackwell as soon as she can.
Okay. As you get ready and change and everything, as you step out of your room, you do hear the shower is going in your bathroom, closest to your room. And given the time of day it is and the day of the week, your parents shouldn't be home.
Fee will. I'll walk towards the bathroom, sort of dropping myself into a sort of prepared stance, really unsure of what's gonna happen. Not prepared for a fight, but just prepared for something.
Yeah. Now, as you approach, you do see steam kind of pouring out from underneath the crack of the door. And the door is shut.
I'm gonna go up to the door and I'm gonna try to open the door as quietly as possible.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to slowly turn the knob and very gingerly push it open. And as you do, the strange thing is no steam pours out of the crack, and the steam that's coming out of the bottom just seems to be gone. And as you open the door more, there's no steam in the bathroom whatsoever. And with the exception of the mirror is fogged, and the shower is no longer running. And you see what looks like a handprint, a small handprint, kind of on the mirror, and like it dragged itself down.
I'm gonna walk over to the shower. Is it still running?
No, like when the steam vanished, the shower also stopped as you open the door. And the tub itself
Okay.
appears to be dry.
She's just gonna look around the room for a second and see if she can notice anything else. So there's the handprint on the window on the mirror.
Yeah, other than that, nothing else seems unusual or out of place. Other than the fact that you heard the shower and saw the steam, but that seemed to vanish, and
Right.
the tub itself is dry.
Okay. I don't currently have any burns saved up, but if I did, could I use elemental awareness?
What would you be trying to do?
Elemental awareness. Spend one burn and mark a condition to open your mind to the world around you with your powers. You can ask one question about the world around yourself, and the GM will answer honestly.
If you want to try to charge up,
I think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna. 9.
If I remember correctly, I think that's 3 burns, 1 condition.
Yep. No, yeah. I'm gonna go with afraid in this situation.
seems fitting.
Alright, so I'm gonna spend one of those burn, and I am going to reach out with my awareness of water and just try to feel if I can feel of any other water manipulations going on.
Okay, Okay. As you reach out, extending the majority of the water that's remaining, other than the ambient in the air, would be the fog on the window. And as you reach
Mhm.
out to that, or on the mirror rather, um, you get a vague impression of something roughly humanoid having been there with its hand on it beyond the visual of you see, but there appears to have been something in there that was affecting the area using the water. You're not sure what, you can't make out any details or anything, but you just do effectively sense from the memory of the water a sort of presence.
That something was there.
Correct.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with my original plan, and I am going to get out of this house.
Okay.
I'm also going to call my parents, and as I'm calling them, I'm going to tell them that I believe that there's some issue with the gas line, that I smelled rotten eggs, and to call the gas company and don't come home at all, like right away.
They yeah, neither one is able to answer as you call, but you leave the message successfully and all that. That's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to make my way to Dr. Blackwell.
Okay. Stryker. Would you happen to have been at Dr. Blackwell's, or you're roughing it on the street like more normal, or what would you be doing?
I think maybe this particular time he's actually around because he has to report uh about like Barrier Man in more detail to her because he watched him use his powers a bit more and he knows that Professor Blackwell wants really anytime he sees any new powers for it to be told to her.
Okay. So yeah, it's pretty early still when you arrive, Fee. As you knock on the door, Thomas, you being aware of your having lived rough for so long. I mean, not Thomas, Stryker. Having lived rough for so long, you pretty much wake up pretty easily. You hear the knocking. It seems like Dr. Blackwell isn't actually home. She seems to have already left for the day.
Yeah, he gets up, notices that, goes to answer the door, kind of like, or he almost like an answering machine, just kind of like starts to open the door and goes, Professor Blackwell's not here right now. Fee?
She flings herself at Stryker and gives him a hug. Someone was in my house. I don't know who, but someone was in my house.
He's oddly, he looks calm, is the only way I can describe what his expression looks like at the moment hearing that, and says, they do anything to you?
Not physically. I woke up surrounded by water. I think there's someone else out there that can control water like I can. And when I went to go out into my hall, they were in my bathroom, but when I opened the door, they were gone.
He takes a deep breath, again maintaining a calm expression, and says, we should go see Stackhouse.
Definitely.
Stay by me for now. I'll keep an eye out.
She nods, and you can see that her hands are sort of clenched in fists. She's very clearly on edge.
yeah, he kind of like is quietly self-admonishing that he's not good at really giving comfort when he's angry, and god damn is he so mad. So he just calls up Norman.
Yeah. I'll let it ring a few times.
It
Then I pick it up.
very funny.
Sorry, I was I was in the bathroom. Couldn't get to it.
This is serious. We need to meet at your hideout.
Yeah,
Kinda.
I'd like to think if my father didn't have anything planned, I was already there, just monitoring the news.
Yeah.
You need a lift?
As much as I hate owing you a favor, he's not in a good state right now, so yes.
Alright, where are you guys at?
We're by Professor Blackwell's. You could also contact Thomas. That'd be great.
Alright. Should really get a group text or something going.
I
know, not the time. Meet me at the place, you know.
yeah. He just nods and hangs up the phone and says, he just kind of like, man, he does that thing that like men do sometimes where they don't know what to do with themselves, so they just start like clenching and unclenching their hands. Like they're like, I don't know what to say with words, so physically I just need to do something to not drive myself insane. Like, it's pretty visible that he wants to help, but he doesn't have the tools.
Fee just sort of smiles at him and puts her hand on his shoulder. Come on, let's go get the shadow portal, I'm guessing.
Yes, his stupid portal thing.
In the meantime, I'm calling up Thomas. Their variable.
Yeah, Thomas, as your phone rings and kind of waking you up, you do smell the smell of breakfast in the air. As your good old pal's cooking for you, as he usually does.
Cool. First off, I still had a condition from last time. Did I leave that marked or can I clear it?
What?
What can the background noise is pretty loud.
Angry marked at the end of the last session.
Dude, there's some background noise that is determined to like snuff you out.
Yeah, that's the music.
I mean, you can turn it off or down.
Yeah,
It's nothing on mine. I can't control it.
You can go to the cog in the chat box, and there's a volume option near the top.
Okay, shit, I didn't see that one before.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, geez, I guess this is my life now.
Holy God, it was like so loud, it was actually impossible to comprehend.
It was like overlapping exactly at like the nouns of your sentence, so it was just awful.
Okay, so now that that's taken care of, I still had a condition marked from last time. I don't know if I need to leave it or if it's been long enough that I can clear it, but...
and what you said, it was angry?
Yeah, I was angry. I mean, real talk, pancakes would clear that up, so whatever.
I think to clear it, you have to break something or do something
You
reckless.
need to hurt someone or break something important.
I break Godfrey's plate.
Well,
Well, I mean,
what, your
Fuck
damn
you,
breakfast? I'm pissed off.
you do kind of break his will every time you tell him he can't superhero with you.
I mean, if that counts, then sure.
But no, I mean,
the plate's gone.
But no, we'll go ahead and leave it on there for now.
All right. Just the angriest I've ever eaten pancakes. Just,
You're so mad at being Eiffel Towered.
Channel Stryker.
Sir, Mr. Andrews, that was days ago. I'm still mad, damn it.
It was yesterday, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, yeah, yesterday that makes more sense then.
Just angrily scratching the butter knife against the pancake.
yeah, and as usual, do you answer the phone though?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Fucking phone. Just throws it. I just got word. Sorry, Norman. Here.
Hi.
Yeah.
With like a mouth cold pancake.
Oh. I'm glad you got your priorities. I just got word from Stryker. Apparently, something's wrong with Fee. He wanted us to head over to Blackwell's place.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there in. I like stare at my pancakes to estimate how long it's going to take me to eat them. I'll be there in like 10 minutes.
Okay. Do you need help, or you got your car person? Right?
Yeah, I got a driver.
Okay. I'll meet you there.
Rich kid over here.
It'll probably be more than 10 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes to eat, then you have to actually drive there and everything. So.
No, I'll make him get there in 10 minutes.
You better.
I thought that this was when you were going to snark back and be like, I can chew my own thing.
All right. I'll pop. I think we mentioned before we have like an alley nearby that we usually meet up when in times like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna pop over there.
Okay. Yeah. When you pop over there, they're waiting for you. Thomas is still at home eating pancakes.
Uh,
I would like to say that Fee can't, because she's been around him too long, that it's almost like sensory deprivation. Like, you just get used to it. Like, you can, like, feel the anger that's radiating off the Stryker. He's so mad, despite a very calm looking face.
Sophie just still has her hand on his shoulder, trying to keep him grounded.
Thomas was hungry. He'll be here in a minute. Shall we wait?
He sighs and says, It's fine. Professor's at home, and this is a situation that 10, 20 minutes won't make much of a difference. Is your family good at tracking?
I don't. I mean, he has some connections, I would assume, though. What exactly do you want to track?
Someone
There
is
was
stalking.
someone.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. No. You can go ahead.
There's someone else with my powers that was in my house this morning. They can control water just like I can.
Jeez. Did they hurt you?
No, they vanished before I could get in and see them. But I woke up and I was completely encompassed in water. That's never happened.
Feeling
the second
another
time.
wave of anger.
It's the second time that I've woken up with water I didn't generate around me.
Wait, when was the first time?
She said it's
A
the
couple of
first
days
time
ago.
Oh, never mind.
I thought it was just my powers manifesting in a strange way. I was going to talk about with Blackwell, but then we had the, explosive Pomeranian we had to deal with.
Yeah, she did mention that she thought her powers were acting up to you at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Maybe after Thomas gets here, we can talk about a stakeout of sorts. If this is happening in the night, maybe we can catch him in the act. Or in the morning. Plus, I'm a bit more confident in the darkness.
All I know is that my parents live in this house with me. And if there's someone popping in, my mom's not going to be able to take it. She can't be around superpowers.
Yes, which is why I'm suggesting we just at least wait out on the street. Maybe
No,
you...
you don't understand. If there's anything going on with superpowers and me around my mother, I don't know if she will survive.
Oh. Then maybe we could see if they follow you. And just I have enough money saved that perhaps we just rent a room for a couple days and see if he moves.
She looks at Stryker. I'd actually been trying to save up enough that we could get our own apartment.
I could try asking my father if he knows any water power users like yourself. Ones that would be mischievous, it seems like. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a villain's work. It seems strange that anyone would go out of their way to do something like that.
Certainly not.
It's about 25 minutes after the phone call when Thomas finally pulls up. Gottfried is muttering about traffic.
Hey, what was that last part?
I said it took you about 25 minutes to get to the house, and Gottfried's muttering about traffic as he pulls up to it.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I don't even listen. I just fall. I throw the door open, basically fall out of the car and just run off.
Going closer, you make him get out and closer.
Just tap back down over my shoulder. Bye.
He waves and drives off.
Yeah, he takes advantage of that ridiculous situation, grabbing Fee's attention to quickly say please to Norman.
What would you say, sir? Please?
He said, please. Yes.
To prior statement.
Yes.
Okay.
God. Yeah, and you know what? For once, it's not begrudgingly. It's very sincere.
Here's a smirk. Alright. I'm not the only one with family problems. I can't be selfish in times like this. As Thomas gets up, I'm just going to say, hey, I have a phone call to take. Why don't you explain the rest to him? And I sort of hop on out of the alley and call my father.
All right. Rings a couple times before he answers, and yes.
Hi, sorry, Dad. It's Norman. We have some personal business. Something happened to one of my team members. I was just wondering, off the top of your head, if you know any people with water-based powers?
Water-based powers. Anything in particular, or?
They seem to be playing tricks on her. She woke up in the morning and was surrounded by water, and when she thought she was cornering them, they just didn't exist. They disappeared. Anything like that? no harm was done to her, but it just seems odd.
Well, off the top of my head, there was Neptuna, the Fish King, but though he had amazing water abilities, he unfortunately died in a whaling accident. There was Titus, but he should be locked up. Those are the only two that really come to mind with any significant abilities of that level you described. But there's always new players popping up.
Huh. All right. We might be out for a bit. If you do have the news on, I know you apparently are keeping track of some things. If you do see any villains or any incidents with water-based powers, if you could help me out a bit here, I'm sorry.
No, I'll put some feelers out and see if I can find anything.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Goodbye. Just doesn't know how to end the conversation. And I walk back in.
Oh man, don't be too smooth.
Unfortunately, my father can't recall any current water power users. The few that he named were either dead or in prison. He says that if there is any news of anyone using water-based powers, be it villain or otherwise, that he'd contact me. But it wasn't much help, unfortunately.
Well, thank you for calling. I know it's difficult for you to talk to him.
After the last two missions, actually, he's been a little bit pleasant. Anyways, was Thomas filled in in the
Yes,
downtime?
told Thomas.
Yeah, I think we didn't just. We're just like, well, I mean, tough shit, friend. Gonna leave you in the dark.
When you're out of the room, we just stand here and wait for you to come back.
Yeah.
You're that important, Stackhouse. You're that important.
All right, NPCs, let's go.
Okay, buddy. Maybe it's time you pump the brakes.
My father is a merchant in town.
So did we decide on a plan of action? If your house is out of the question. I was thinking maybe perhaps isolating yourself in a place with water, a public pool at night perhaps. Maybe that might trigger something.
Maybe. I mean, it's something to certainly take into consideration. Whatever I can do to get this over with, to get this person to come out into the open so we can deal with him, I think that's the best thing.
Stryker, you said you had money saved up. Do you have a plan?
I have some money too. Don't worry. Stryker doesn't have to worry about paying for this. I'm going to need you to do some serious punching. I can pay for the hotel room.
Fine. But that was my idea. Because I think the important things to determine, are they focusing on her or her family? So we might need to split our forces. I stay with her, and you, and Variable check the house so that if there's something going on there, you two can help quickly use your portal, whatever, to get him away. And if it's something over on our end, we can call you and you can bring Variable over.
I mean, that's fine with me, but Fee, you said your mother was rather fragile in this situation. I wouldn't want to be seen and cause any rifts.
Isn't your entire gig being stealthy?
Okay, sorry. I wouldn't want us being seen.
I mean, can't you just like hide
We
in
can
the
wait.
shadows or
It's
whatever?
all right. As long as you are keeping in contact with us, so we can hop over if anything's wrong.
He nods, says, "Don't worry, I won't mess this up."
He smiles and goes, Stryker, you know I trust you with my life.
He nods, says, and I feel the same. So,
She gives him another hug. You know you're my brother.
Yeah, he's feeling now increasing levels of awkwardness. Let's just find this guy so I can punch him and this can be over with.
She laughs, let go. Yes, let's do the punching. Clearly.
Fee, you said this happened before, or something similar. Unknown water appearing in your room. Was the first time when your parents were in the house?
Yes.
Or did they complain about anything like that?
It was right as they were leaving for work. I don't think they noticed.
And you didn't find any water in their rooms?
To be honest, I didn't go in and look. My mother and I exist in the same house. We don't really speak.
Yeah. Well, I would just assume were water to suddenly appear in their room, they might come looking for you. But
Oh, certainly.
if you didn't hear anything. Yeah.
No, that hasn't been brought up to me at all.
So maybe if we can find a place, we can watch from across the street into your room, perhaps. See if anything happens.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could shadow port into my room. As long as you don't make too much noise, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I guess. If they wouldn't come bothering you, then that would be fine.
They shouldn't. Not unless, again, there's some reason for them to. If I'm in my room, or if they think I'm out for the night, they tend to leave my stuff alone.
All right. I set up a group text for everyone to use. And I am going to put my phone on vibrate just to make sure so I don't forget when we're doing the stealth part.
Using that special technology, that cell phone technology.
How about you, Variable? Are you fine with that?
Let's go do a violence.
So, I guess we should get this straight. If this strange water creature person appears in your room, we should bring him to the hotel?
Yes. Get him out of there as quickly as you can.
All right, then maybe I should come with you first while you're getting it, just to acquaint myself with the location so I can get there, I mean.
Sure, I'll take them all to my house and sort of show them the lay of the land.
Oh yeah, that room, and I meant the hotel room. So I don't go into some poor person's home with the water demon.
I don't remember if we covered it. Fee, do you have a car or anything, or how do you get around?
She primarily walks or bikes.
Okay. So you probably rode your
Water
bike to Blackwell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone hop on.
So do y'all walk back to your house, or Thomas, do you have your car come around and take you all, or how do y'all get there?
I mean, if you guys don't mind, if they don't mind, like all the questions from Godfrey, yeah, we can have him drive.
I mean, Fee's used to being questioned by Blackwell, so she's okay with it.
You know what? If this man has enough nerves of steel after the ensuing glare to keep asking questions, he deserves the right.
Fuck it, yeah, I'm calling him.
All right, so you call him, and he acknowledges this. He'll head back around that way, and as he comes driving down the street, um, you can just see like this huge grin on his face as he's pulling up. And he stops next to you all, and the doors are unlocked, and hits a switch, and they actually open on their own for you all.
Ooh.
Fancy.
I'm just imagining that phone call, like, hey, I know it's only been like 10 minutes since you left, but
I'm on my way.
The fucking desperation.
I often.
Uh,
Though
But-
the facilities have been available to me, I usually don't use them, so this is still a novel experience to an extent.
And as you all climb in, where to?
I give him my address.
He punches it into GPS and everything. And who's in the back? Who's in the front?
I'd assume Thomas was in the front.
yeah, probably. Whoever sits next to him is going to get the most questions, so I might as well spare everyone else.
And regardless, or not taking into account anything he may say, do y'all hold any conversation while he's driving, or?
If he starts asking things, I just shadow cloak stealth like a wall of shadow between the two seats.
Fee's being as genial as she can, even though she's still kind of shaken. She's trying to like make pleasant small talk with him.
Well, I mean with each other, because if y'all are having a conversation, I think Thomas knows well enough he's not going to interrupt. And so that's why I'm asking if y'all were still going to be talking to yourselves about anything.
I mean, I think the plan is just to get the locations in mind, so I don't know if we really have anything until we reach the place.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Okay. It didn't take that long to get there. He's actually surprisingly well controlled. Almost seems like you can tell he's holding back, but he doesn't ask the things he wants to ask. But you can tell he's very visibly excited. But it doesn't take long to get back to your house as he pulls up in front of it. I believe we've arrived.
Thank you, driver person.
Thank you, Godfrey.
You are most welcome. Yes.
I pat him on the head and just whisper, I'm so proud of you.
He beams.
But if you're late again, I'll have your chop.
Stryker just wordlessly exits. That's about expected.
Slides on out.
Thomas, before you get out, should I stay, or will you be here a while?
Crap, how long? I think we were planning on being here a while, right?
I think we're just looking at the room and then
Yeah, I think
going
we're
over to the hotel.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then yeah, stay.
Oh, very good, sir. And as you all shut up the door and get out, if any of you happen to glance back, you see him kind of like shadowboxing the air excitedly.
I'll shadow box him. Alright.
Your parents' vehicles are still gone, so nobody mysteriously came back or anything. No sign of the gas company.
Just in case, I'm pulling up my hood. I want some crazy cameras.
Fee takes him in and goes to her room.
As you open the front door, you're greeted with a wall of water.
Oh. Hey everyone, we found it.
Thanks for stating the obvious, Norman.
Well, I'm sorry. Just previous information meant that we probably wouldn't have this happen to us. So,
Oh man, Stryker's so fucking ready. he was ready to have an entire day worth of built up tension.
I just put my hands on both of your shoulders like, hey, I guess we don't need to buy that room.
He's like half listening to you right now. He
Fine,
looks
I'm half.
ready to murder.
Fee just sort of visibly takes a step back when she sees that the wall of water seems to be everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah, and it doesn't come rushing out or anything. It's stationary.
Oh, then I poke it.
Oh no, it leaks out.
It's water.
I was just expecting you to get pulled in.
It ripples as you poke it.
Guys, I think it's safe.
Does it like permeate like all the way up the stairs? Like the entire house is water?
Like you have the door open, and all the door to the house itself is open, and all you can see is water in the doorway. You can't really tell how deep it may be.
Stryker just takes a deep breath and just steps in.
Fee, do you have any control over this baby? So we don't drown?
Fee's gonna go in with him because she apparently can breathe in water now, so she's just like, well, I'm not letting him go in there alone. I don't know what the hell this is.
I feel like that's something you can test before you fully just all in.
Okay. So as you both step into it, the water envelopes you both as you would expect, as if you're going into a pool or some such. Fee, this feels just like earlier. Everything feels normal, other than the fact that you're quickly bringing in oxygen from the water somehow to keep you breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Stryker, Stryker, you feel a very powerful force just slam into your chest. Roll to take a powerful blow as it impacts you.
Cool.
I want to throw up a shield.
There's no visible, like, you don't see like anything moving to hit him. He just feels it impact him.
Gotcha. Okay. I was gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you see like an orb of water moving through or anything.
Cool. Well, I guess I give ground.
Okay. Yeah. As you feel it, Thomas and Norman outside, you see Stryker suddenly just launch back out of it and fly into the yard, hitting hard and rolling a bit before he kind of comes to a stop, soaking wet. The water itself remaining as a wall within the door frame in the house.
I reached out to help him out. So, how did it go?
I was gonna say that. Oh.
He doesn't grab your hand because he would likely break it.
Okay.
He looks. He's so. Oh my god. He doesn't even know how to like emote right now. He's so mad. It's just like okay. This is how this is gonna be, huh? And he's just.
I was.
Up back. Like fucking.
I was gonna say maybe doing that's not a good idea. You might want to try the back door or something. Take a look around.
Well, as he flies out, Fee, what do you do?
I want to push forward and see if there's any stop to the water. I want to continue to go forward.
Okay. So yeah, as he flies out, you start moving forward, and you notice again, it's not actually touching anything, just like before. That same kind of layer of air between everything. The further in you go, it seems to be everywhere, though.
Okay.
Stryker, you said you just go right back into it?
Yeah, I mean, sort of something to stop him. He really doesn't have other options that he can contemplate. And Fee's in there, so he can't just wait.
Okay. Yeah, as you move to go back into it, you kind of slam into it as if it were a solid wall that you can't actually enter.
I punch it.
As you hit it, it feel like something you felt before, as if you were like punching a wall, effectively, like a concrete wall. It creates slight ripples in the water, but your hand doesn't really penetrate.
That's a shame.
Turns and looks at you.
Okay, you get that out of your system. We're gonna try to find a way in.
Can we try to scoop any of it out?
Is it like oobleck? Is it oobleck?
Is it what?
The thing that when you apply force to it, it becomes solid, but if you just sort of like touch it, it's liquid.
You're talking about like a non-Newtonian liquid?
Yeah, non-Newtonian fluid, yeah.
I gotcha.
I poke it slightly.
Your finger goes in.
Oh, maybe he just doesn't like Stryker, which is fair. I mean, Fee's still okay?
Depending, how far back have you gone? Can they still see you? Like, are you in still the main
Yeah.
room there?
Yeah, they can still see me. I just wanted to try to get a view of the house.
Okay, yeah. You can see her moving around inside. She seems perfectly fine.
Okay, water person. I don't think you're a villain, but don't smash me with water. Is there a way, like, I can summon, like, 2 sheets of shadow and just sort of part it enough for me to walk through a little bit? Because I'm assuming with all this water, it's pretty dark in there.
And trying to part the water with shadow?
Yeah.
Roll Unleash.
Okay.
Or you could shadow port some of the water out of there.
I could just open, like, well, let's see if this works. I've already said on it.
Okay, yes, as you reach in for the shadows in the house, as it is fairly dark in there, you do manage to create a slight wedge with shadow holding back the water. Not too deep in, but you can technically step into the house without being in the water.
Okay, this didn't work as well as I thought it would.
You feel a lot of resistance from it, more so than you would expect from trying to part water.
Yeah. I look back and I just shrug. I said, this stuff's pretty rough. And I'm sort of nervous. This isn't helping. I snap my fingers, it goes away.
Okay, then what little bit you had spread quickly fills back in.
Okay.
I am going to attempt to do just what I did earlier. I'm going to try to summon up burn and then try to use it and try to dissipate.
Okay.
So.
Boil the house.
Somewhat.
Or, just send it through the front door.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do, is just use my powers and just get all of the water out as fast as possible.
Alright.
All right. I managed to get some of it out. But it's taking all of my concentration to try to force however much of the water that I can out of the door to make it where any of these other guys can come in.
And you find as you will it out, um, you're kind of sending it out harmlessly out past everybody, avoiding hitting anybody. But as it goes out at the end, it seems to curve back around, and it comes shooting back at Stryker. You can roll to directly engage if you want to try to avoid it or do something else as the waters come barreling at you again, Stryker.
I mean, if I can directly engage, I will always directly engage.
I mean, it's effectively a dodge unless you want to try to like punch it as it comes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not you laugh, but that is the Stryker MO. And that's the reason why, because it works. I think. Well, I resist or avoid their blows, and I guess I'll take away their movement so that we have the ability to get into the house. Maybe close the door on them or something. I don't know. Mostly, I'm just trying to make sure I can. Stryker just wants to get where his feet is.
No.
Because he doesn't feel comfortable with this distance between them.
Okay, so as the water's coming at you, kind of brace yourself, and you throw your fist forward right when it would hit you. And having braced for impact, it hits it and kind of sprays around you. As you hold your ground, feeling the force, it slightly, like an inch, maybe pushes you back as you maintain before Fee gets out as much water as she can muster. And it finally just all drops to the ground outside that she got out. Inside the house, it's there's about 2 feet below the door frame where the water has dropped to that level. So basically, most of the upstairs is clear, and there's like 2 feet of air and not non-water in front of the doorway at the very top.
Once it's separated from the house, does it still have that weird sentience to it, or?
After it hit you and she got out what she could, the rest of it just kind of like that was outside of the house just dropped to the ground.
Okay. He sighs and walks up to where Fee is.
Well, the house itself, like I said, the most of the door frame is still filled with water. So you just have to.
Yeah, think of the house as a cup, and it just like lowered the top of it, but
Yeah, it's
the
like
bottom of it.
it's like half full now, basically.
Well, then he'll like swim or whatever that's needed to get there.
Okay, so as
I
you
assume I'm like already kind of in the water.
well, what's left in the house as you go to try to get through it again, it is solid for you, and you can't actually enter the water. But because of that gap, you are able to pull yourself on it, and you're basically walking on water above it as Fee is swimming in the water.
I wonder if she's a fan of drawing her blinds. I'm just gonna look sort of take a circle around the house and see if there's any open windows, so I don't have to deal with this stuff. Maybe I can just teleport to the top somewhere.
Yeah, no, other than maybe her room, that's up to her. All the other ones, the shades are drawn and everything.
Yeah, her shades would have been drawn too, but
That's okay. Thomas, you want to? I know it's your thing. Maybe you want to take our chances in there.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm gonna try to be as calm as possible. It apparently has some beef with Stryker, so I'm gonna be like anti-Stryker and just walk in cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, as you walk in, you just walk in as if you're walking into water, and now you're kind of floating in it.
I'd like Like a little sippy straw, I try to like breathe in a little bit. Just like a tad.
I
Is it,
think I missed that. Do what?
I just like for like a drop, I try to like inhale slightly. Just very, very slightly.
Oh, yeah, the water comes in, and you're realizing you are losing oxygen as you would expect if you were swimming.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess if it went in my mouth, then I probably wouldn't try any harder. Um, I mean, I swim. I guess I'm gonna try to find the stairs so I can climb up out of here.
Okay, yeah. As you find them, you get to them and you walk up out of it like no problem, and you just see Stryker still just kind of standing on the water, like as close to Fee as he can get.
As I swim away, I'm like I wave in Thomas.
I take as deep a breath as I can and just plunge in, running right for the stairs.
Yeah, as you run in, you splash into it, diving into it basically, and make a dart for the stairs, and you make it with them.
Woo!
Stryker turns to Variable and says, "You know, I have a question I haven't really thought about with your abilities. Can't you just, I don't know, open the door and manipulate the probability of the thing just being there?"
I don't think that's how probability works.
Yeah, I think that would be more toward like reality bending.
He shrugs and he's like, "Well, I mean, there's a non-zero chance in here, right?"
Schrodinger's waterhouse. Schrodinger.
I mean, it's worth a roll, sure.
So
I mean, is it now? We're all out of it.
so what exactly are you trying?
I guess now that we're already inside, trying to call it out and just be like, "Hey, get over here!" Like manipulate probability to make sure it goes. Oh yeah, okay.
Go ahead and roll. Unleash.
Stryker's reasoning was that if it's in this house, technically it should be possible for us to find him.
To stumble across it. I understand.
And he's just like, "Well, can you try to use your abilities to make it more likely to happen?" Which the answer to is no.
Thomas closes his eyes and just spins in a circle.
Yeah, as you do that, trying to tap into the probability fields of the magical realms and everything that you tap into normally, you're not really able to make the connection you're trying to do, and you get kind of a oh shit kind of feeling, like maybe you went a little too far in the other direction with the probability, as suddenly the water level starts rising.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, everyone get a straw.
How high does it rise?
It's slowly rising. Just it's not suddenly filling up all the way or anything, but it doesn't seem to be stopping. And you're the position you're at, Stryker, you're getting closer and closer to the ceiling.
Since we're on the stairs, do we notice any water gushing down from like a room up here, or is it filling up from somewhere beneath?
Yeah, it's filling up as if it were filling up from somewhere underneath or
Okay.
in the water itself. It's just rising up. It's not filling in from the top.
Stryker very calmly says to Fee, "You're going to need to take more water out of this room, or something's gonna give first, and I have a feeling it's going to be the ceiling."
Well, I mean, you could move and like get into the upstairs and stuff like that, but where you're at in the main room where she's at, yeah, you're gonna hit the ceiling first if you don't move.
Yeah, I guess if it's slow enough, you'll start working towards getting to the stairs.
Yeah, I
While
mean,
he says
you've got
that.
plenty of time to make it there, to get yourself a little bit more time in that regard, but it does keep filling, and as it fills, while if Thomas and Norman, if they're not actively going further up the stairs or anything, it's rising around them like you would expect, while you're still standing on it like it's a solid surface lifting you up.
Hmm.
Regardless, no matter what, the only solution to this problem is fee and not us.
I feel wet, right? Like I got all wet from
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
water. Okay.
Okay, I am going to try to channel all of my powers to either call this being, whatever it is that's causing all of this destruction, to call them out, or to force all of this water out of my home.
Mm.
Okay.
And so I am going to charge up my powers, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
So I'm going to roll for burn.
Oh boy. Ooh.
Woo! All right, 3 burn. No conditions.
I never. Okay, burn is okay. I see.
I am going to overcharge. I'm going to spend 2 of my burn to take an automatic success and to push as much of this water out of the living room of my house and out of all of my house as I possibly can. Just,
Okay.
I am going to torrent it out or torrent it into the shape of whoever is causing this. I don't care. This water is getting out of my living room, one way or another.
Okay. So, yeah, as you extend your powers out and reaching out into the water, you just propel with all the force you can muster forward out the front door as it goes flooding out, the water level steadily flowing with it. But Stryker, you kind of lose your balance a bit as you kind of ride the wave out with it. It's not like an attack or anything. You're just going with the motion of it now, as if you're on top of it. You're still not wet. You're just riding it out like it's literally like a metal slide as it slopes down to leave. And even as you hit the ground outside, the water is kind of hitting at you like it's a solid material, but it's not hurting. As eventually you do manage to get all of the water out, as the last of it leaves, Fee, you feel something just very gingerly kind of touch your hand, and then it's gone.
I turn around, and the moment I feel it touch me, I'm just looking, because the entire time I was just in water, but this definitely felt like a human touch.
I mean, it didn't feel like flesh, but it felt like something tangible.
Right. Okay.
As Thomas and Norman, you were on the stairs and were able to easily enough avoid going out with the water. And you all
There
noticed
was-
that the house itself is like dry, like the water wasn't actually touching anything in the house, which you hadn't really noticed before.
What about the water that's on us? I don't want to cause like water damage.
Like earlier, I'm assuming Fee would have taken the water off of y'all as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And Stryker, you see the water finally all out of the house as Fee's just kind of looking around as she's standing in the living room now, in front of it, where you can see her through the doorway.
Mm. Why?
I mean, I start walking down and looking around since everyone
Yeah.
else is there.
Immediately, Fee goes, "Do you see anything? Something touched me as the water was leaving. Do you see anything?"
360.
Yeah, I'll look. I mean, I can't do anything.
I will say, if everybody wants, you can roll and assess. We're kind of going to treat it like a perception check, though.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, yeah, if I could roll to like make the odds so that whatever it was hasn't left yet.
You tripped on.
Yeah, Fee failed that one
Wow.
off.
Oh man, we're good at this.
Wow. Apparently, only my eyes can deem to see any.
We ain't found shit.
I expected to do the worst, and I did the best by a country mile. What? 2 people are awful at Superior.
Yeah, so as you all look around, and Fee, you're so shaken you don't really notice anything. Stryker, you do kind of notice from like the slight glint um, that a photo uh, in a frame off on one of the walls near the door of, like, it's a family shot of her parents, and her brother. It's the only thing in the house that still has some sort of like looks wet.
The
Fuck, why do
Brontosaurus.
I gotta see this so I have to break the news? What a poetic damning I found myself in. He will go up to the photo frame and say, well, seems to have paid special attention to this. Kind of gestures to the fact that it's wet as opposed to everything else that is dry.
Yeah, and as you look at it, it looks like if somebody had like wet fingers and just kind of ran it down the picture frame of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Since I still have one burn left, I want to do the same thing as earlier. I want to try to reach out and connect with this water and ask it, who are you? And try to see if I can use the water that's been left on that picture frame to get a sense of what this person is after.
Okay. As you again extend out your senses and kind of tapping into what you felt before, that presence of it, as you try to read the water, you do sense like a sort of the same sort of presence you felt earlier. Um, you don't quite make out any details of a form, but you do see like a vague, shimmering, almost like a water mirage type of looking figure of roughly humanoid shape, um, notably shorter than you, standing near the frame. Uh, and this is like an impression, not that it's necessarily there, but sensing
Right.
what it was, um, with its shimmering appendage kind of reached up and like its fingers just kind of touching the picture before it vanished. And as you kind of trace it back, it was that same thing that touched your hand slightly.
Fee just sort of like collapses in on herself and just swears, fuck.
What is it?
I don't know how, but I think it might be my brother. I think it might be Nick.
Who knows about this in the party?
Stryker.
Okay.
Yeah.
He thinks on it for a moment and says, to Norman, that ghost we were fighting earlier, a couple days ago,
Mm-hmm.
your father said that it reminded him of a hero that was dead, right?
Yeah. Jazz hands? Jazz hands, I believe.
Death hands, yeah. I think it might be related to that.
She seems pretty upset. Is there something wrong?
Fee snaps her head up and looks straight at Norman. Nick's dead. I killed him. He's come back. Yet, some shit's wrong.
Stryker just mumbles rather quietly for him for Stryker standards of you are really on point with tact today.
Let me see. I know I said my skill so far is only being able to use probability magic. If I borrow the picture and push myself, can I try and tap into summoning and bring him here?
And my thing was a reach.
Well, no, we have discussed like the nature of his powers and his mom and all that stuff. So I mean, it's not outside of what we've talked about eventually happening. It's just not.
Yeah,
something.
it's basically like as I grow and practice, I would eventually get proficiency in all three. I just so far only have the one.
Yeah, he's like natively intuitive to probability, but his mom had mastered all of them. Because you have read some of her stuff, you don't really know what you're doing. I will say you can roll to unleash. You have to get a full hit, and it's at a -5.
Oh.
Oh shit! Well, all right, I'm gonna try anyway.
Or well, a full hit. I don't even know if a full hit would be possible, but you have to get at least. I will say, like rolling the dice. You have to get a 12. You have to get 2 6s on the roll,
Alrighty.
regardless of your stat bonuses. The actual dice number.
See, can I borrow that for a second?
She takes it off the wall and hands it to him.
I go over to the nearest couch and just sit down and close my eyes and hold it out. So fucking close.
Yeah, as you try to tap into it, trying to recall the things you've read and everything, and trying to channel what you could potentially feel from emotion from the room, from the picture and everything else, but you can't connect to anything like you're hoping to. You're not at that level yet, at all.
I just hand it back to her. I'm sorry.
Thank you for trying. She wipes off the glass and puts it back on the wall, knowing that her mother will come home looking for it, and if it's moved or anything, it won't end well.
Maybe I should call the professor. I think talking to her would help. You talking to her.
He just sort of nods and continues just sort of looking down at the ground.
Fee, I'm sorry about what I said earlier.
You didn't know, Norma. It's okay.
I want it to be known that my father has been, although not extensively yet, training me for matters like these. There might be a tough decision coming pretty soon. I don't want to be the villain that hurt your younger brother, or hurt your brother again, or hurt your younger brother even after you lost. Your family situation seems delicate. Do you know what you want to do if you do see your brother again?
No, but at this point, if he's going to potentially put people in danger, I can't let that continue.
All right.
If he just wants to hurt me, that's one thing, but if he wants to hurt others, I can't let that happen. He has every reason in the world to hate me. I know what I did, but I can't let him hurt anyone else.
All right.
Stryker says, And I maybe you two had the investigation. I want to help her process this correctly. The professor talks about a lot about how this kind of thing can just please. He kind of just deflates like he's so outside of his ballpark, but he knows he needs to have like mental rest. This level of trauma.
So you're asking Thomas and I to go to Blackwell?
Yeah. No, you like look into the whole
Okay.
finding a dead person thing, and he just tries to get her to talk to basically a therapist, because you should
Okay.
talk to a therapist.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if you meant that she couldn't take the questioning right now, or... Okay, Thomas, do you have any ideas?
I mean, there are some old books of my mom's. That's about all I got so far.
I could maybe ask my father to accelerate the training. I forget what... Was it Apparition? What was the guy's name? It was some pun to do with the ghost and the
Orang Ghost Tang.
monkey. Yeah, but... Okay, totally different.
Apparition is a strong second, though.
Apparition is really great.
He might know something. If I ask, I have a teacher for this, he might be able to tell me how to track a ghost. I don't know.
Oh, come to think of it, the place where my mom's locked up, would they allow two visitors, do you think? Like, could me and Norman go ask her about this, or would it have to just be one person?
Yeah, they most likely. You have never gone with anybody else, but as intense as it is, you figure it's unlikely that.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking.
Hasn't Norman assumed the Obsidian Shade? Couldn't he just go in as Obsidian Shade?
To the police?
Question the other villain with her son?
GM?
I mean, that's really more for if he would want to even try. As far as I understood the character, though, their whole thing is trying to stay an urban legend, and walking into a prison would be pretty.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Hide in his shadow.
There's one
Perhaps.
spot in the room that's a little bit darker.
You thought you were free and without eyes watching, but Shadow Cop was always hiding.
Perhaps on the other hand, you could come to my place and maybe get a lesson.
Yeah, that sounds good too.
I think while they're doing that, like, Stryker's gonna call the professor and be like, I really hate asking her for favors too, but this is one of those times where, like, she nags him incessantly to call her. And this is one of the biggest times where he can't do anything else.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's just being led by Stryker at this point. She's sort of just shell-shocked.
Yeah. So I imagine I need to call her if she wasn't home when I was there.
Yeah. Yeah, you dial her up, and she answers, and oh, hey, Stryker, everything okay?
No. A lot of stuff's happened to Feet, and I can't help.
Oh well, what can I do anything?
Well, you're better at the whole comfort and talking thing, and well, I mean, we don't have it confirmed, but we're pretty sure her dead brother is visiting her and flooding her house.
Oh, that's that's horrible. And but you can tell there's like a hint of like almost excitement still behind it. Like she's not lying. She does think it's horrible, but it's an
Yeah.
exciting horrible for her.
Yeah, he's just like, I know you like new things, but just once. I haven't really taught me how to deal with not being able to help, and it's not a good feeling. So if you could help her, someone doing something productive.
But if I can, I'm certainly willing to try.
I guess we'll be
It's not
at your house.
okay. It just this isn't exactly my wheelhouse either. But
I know, but you're an adult. You know stuff more than I do. You've talked to people more. I don't know what to say.
yeah, I'll see you all when I get there. I can't cut out early today, unfortunately, but just yeah, wait at my place.
He nods and hangs up and just says, and he turns to Phoenix and says, we're gonna wait at Professor's house. If you need anything, I'd like to help. I guess, I mean, I can roll with comfort and support. I'll probably fail for this.
No, it's okay. No, if he just sort of smiles and yeah, I don't think being here would it's not going to help anything. So yeah, I think it'd be best if we just go to Blackwell's.
But you
Fine.
can roll comfort and support if you'd like. Try to clear out some of the conditions she may
Yeah,
have.
she has a lot of conditions. Man, I'm like the actual worst person to do it though. Actually, you know what? I might not be that bad since she is both the target of my heart and I have influence over her, so it zeroes out.
Oh, I just realized I have an advancement.
Doesn't matter though, because the fates say no.
Yeah, she's just too shook right now.
Yeah, it turns out when you live your life by the fist, someone's emotional problem is really not your wheelhouse.
Nope.
Can't punch depression.
Nope.
You can try.
Oh, you bet I've tried. It's obviously not working. Someday I'll find out. Turns out, much like the theme of this entire arc, the inability to punch inanimate objects and intangible things, not intangible things, not inanimate objects, is really the core of Stryker's problem in this skill set. Once I can punch abstractions, I truly will be safe.
Yes.
I'll see if there's a spell in one of my mom's books. We'll get this figured out.
I'm gonna punch
It's
the
a
shit out of the
special-
Pythagorean theorem.
Gonna get some special gloves made up. He's just gonna kick physics ass.
Yeah, I guess that's what our side's doing well. Team and Snoop is hopefully 5 at something.
I guess I'm gonna have to call my father again.
Is there any chance Dream Turtle would have any expertise in this area that we could use?
Oh yeah, he would be very up for anything else.
I mean, Dream Eternal is a terribly mysterious person, so you don't know the full extent of what they do or do not know, but given the place you normally see them, that weird, trippy, otherworldly type of place, you figure it might not be a bad thing to try, at least.
Yeah, fuck it. I guess I can always give it a shot. Wait, have I ever been the one to reach out before? Do they
No.
have a phone number? Great.
When do advancements happen? Just wondering.
The second you get enough potential.
Hey, I got all my powers now. Shadow senses might come in handy. I don't know.
They might.
Now Shadow Cop can see through the darkness of lies.
Oh yeah, it probably would give me night vision. That makes sense.
It would be weird if it didn't.
Yeah.
It lets you see shadows in the dark.
Oh great, cool.
I think the important question though is, can you taste anything that's in the shadow?
Ooh. Yeah, it doesn't say which.
The shadows taste like schnozberries.
Oh
And
god.
mindful.
The shadows taste like crime.
Man, mind clouding might get a bit rough. I don't know how I can use that in a hero-y way, other than like distraction.
I mean, you don't really need it for anything other than distraction, and it'd still be useful. God, I'm not going to be able to grasp your concept of Shadow Cop anymore. Your clarity of mind is under arrest. Shadow Cop's on the kick. I even sent you out on investigation. Truly, you are the Shadow Cop that Halcyon.
Did you bring up this alternative to Norman, or is he still calling his father?
Yes, I will. Yeah, I'll bring it up because hey, maybe anyone else knows how to get in contact. This is my semi-mentor, and I have no idea how to contact them.
Like some candles? I don't know.
Click your heels 3 times?
And as you're all kind of standing around moping in Fee's living room with the door open, the yard soaked with water, you all notice Thomas just kind of go glaze-eyed as his head kind of tilts to his side, and his kind of drool kind of starts dripping out of the side of the corner of his mouth.
Oh no.
Thomas, as all of a sudden you're in the ephemeral space whenever Dream Eternal normally makes himself known.
Great. I was standing when that happened, wasn't I?
Yes, you're still standing. Your just head is just kind of like lopsided and you're drooling.
This is normal.
Y'all have never seen this before.
It turns out you summon Dream Eternal through Beetlejuice rules.
You needed me?
So I think we might need to talk to a dead person.
That's going around lately.
You know what? No, I'm not even going to ask. I don't know if I want to get into that. We think Fee's brother is haunting her, and we need to get a hold of him. I tried to summon, and I guess I'm still kind of crap at that. So, Feed, see what you got.
Yes, he doesn't seem fond of your friend.
Stryker, I've noticed he has a bad effect on people.
No,
Finally.
I mean, we love him, but other people not so much.
this is deeper than that.
Oh, you.
It's a sense of anger towards him. Being
Well,
replaced.
Tell him replace. Do what?
A sense of anger towards him, of a sense of being replaced.
He's jealous.
I mean, if he comes to us, we can talk that out.
I believe your friend is the key.
It was in you all along.
Oh no, which friend? Who knows?
Yeah, wait, which friend this time? Still the same guy?
Yes.
Cool. So what do we do?
I'm not sure. They're all different, each spirit, but it seems to have reacted the most violently towards him. So he is most likely the key to another manifestation.
So what you're saying is sleepover.
I don't believe I said that, no.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
Ghosts hate sleepovers.
And you kind of come to strike variable and drooling as your eyes come back to normal, and
No, Abraham Lincoln. Wait, what?
Freeze the drill.
Is my shirt just like soaked at this point?
wasn't that much. I mean,
Jesus Christ! Did you imagine your mouth was a faucet? Like,
Man, Pablo, huh?
Well, I don't know how much time passed in the real world. Jeez.
well, I mean, it's not so much that. Like, how much saliva did you think you could generate in like any given time? Like, it's a small strand running down your like, not like a waterfall.
Oh,
Fall asleep in class, just like slowly floating off the desk.
Turns out I have two superpowers.
One of them, way less.
it was variable. It was variable all along. He's the motherfucker that's been flooding my house.
he was hiding under your bed.
Oh God! Oh, that means you were in a water cube of saliva.
Oh no, someone in my mouth.
I have to sleep on a sponge pillow. It's a medical condition.
Anyways, we lost you for a second there. What happened?
Well, I guess I figured out how to summon Dream Turtle. We just have to ask about summoning Dream Turtle.
Oh no, stop! It might happen again.
No, he came. They came to me and said, "Yeah, apparently the ghost specifically doesn't like Stryker, and he might be the key to another manifestation." I figured Slumber
I knew
Party,
it.
but they weren't really on board.
Fee's
Are we
head
doing-
jerks up. Lumber party? What?
Slumber Party with a.
We're gonna whittle some wood and carve us a cabin.
Fee, when do your parents get home, usually?
Usually around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
It's still pretty early in the day. This is all
Okay,
in the morning.
alright.
Yeah.
Are we doing a seance?
All right, so I'm gonna go get the Ouija board.
Put Stryker on the table.
Fee just shakes her head. Everyone get out. If this is my little brother, I will deal with it.
I think we're out already.
I thought y'all were still standing around our living room.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you. I thought you said the lawn was soaked or something, and then
Well,
I
yeah,
thought that
all the
maybe
water
was
she
the...
poured out, but the door is still open this whole time, so you can like see outside. And
Okay, never mind.
Uh,
Well, hmm,
I mean, Stryker's gonna shake his head. He said, I'm not leaving. Especially if it's me he's after. Or has problems with.
He's angry at me. I killed him and then I replaced him. That's why he's angry. That's why he's doing this, Stryker. It's not about you. It's about me.
I timidly raised my hand. I mean, Dream Turtle did say he feels replaced, but that it's still aimed more at Stryker. So I don't think he's mad at you. If that helps.
and whether it reaches her or not, at no point through these manifestations have there been any attempts to harm you, as far as you're aware.
Right.
only our big boy Stryker.
Yeah, he kind of says, I mean, we've talked about this a lot. And I don't have the energy. I don't think we should play blame game about that incident again. But I know when someone's trying to pick a fight with me. And when we both walked in there, he threw me out and then proceeded to only attack me and solidified whenever I tried to get near it. He was mad at you. Wouldn't he hit you too? Why would he hit only me? Also, he didn't hit the other two either. It was just me.
I don't know, Stryker.
I mean, as much as we're a bit vicious towards each other, I think I can safely say that Stryker is pretty much the happiest when he's fighting. I don't think there's a reason to turn his offer down. Not to mention that, as we've seen before, physical attacks don't exactly work too well against ghosts. You might need me there to detain him, at the very least.
And I've just never had a sleepover.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we will. Probably. At least right now. Like 11 in the morning.
Fee just nods. And then she just takes a deep breath. And then she shouts, Nick! Nick, come out.
As she does that, I'm going to actually close my eyes and try to use my shadow senses within the house. See if I pick up on anything moving. I don't know if it would work on ghosts, but my other powers do, so maybe I can feel something.
Roll Unleash.
I guess this isn't exactly pulling my punches, so... Okay.
Damn, it's still the first day on the 4th.
I'm blind. Help.
The shadows are dark, and it's hard to see. But no, as you try to extend your senses, that it's not something you've tried before, and you're not able to quite get it to work like you're anticipating it to, based on what you've heard from what your powers will eventually be able to do from your dad.
Gotcha.
As you call out his name, there doesn't seem to be a response.
Should we
He walks over to Stryker and touches him on the shoulder. Nick.
Yeah,
It's affection.
as soon as you touch him, Stryker, you feel the same force earlier. Like there's no visible give to it as it just slams into you again, knocking you away. You roll to take a powerful blow.
What is this physical version of the emotional abuse that GMs tend to throw my way? I mean, I
Right.
can't ground again. It's
Yeah.
where it came from.
Yeah, and so the force kind of just impacts you as you go flying out the open door, and the door slams shut with you outside.
God damn it, kid.
As soon as I see that, can I try to just like summon almost like a blanket of shadow and just try to pin whatever's there down to the ground? If it's like a physical thing, I'm just gonna throw. I can't see anything, so it's gonna be like a shot in the dark, literally. But
A shot in the shadows.
yeah,
Yeah, I still think
She'd
Unleash
love
would be
that.
best for that.
okay.
Bro.
Would this be pulling my punches since I'm still trying to just detain him and not hurt him?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you kind of lay out this kind of field of shadow, you see they kind of come to rest around a form of a small humanoid standing near Fee, where Stryker had been, and as it doesn't seem to be doing anything or reacting to the shadow over it, but you're seeing it as almost like a sense of radar, basically, shadow dar or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
To everyone else, the room kind of darkens, but you don't notice anything unusual happen.
Something's there, and I point at the location behind where Stryker was.
Fee
It's a
immediately
bit
reaches
weird.
her hand out towards it. Nick,
As you reach out, Norman, you see your hand kind of like passes through like the shoulder area, and you kind of do feel a cold spot, and as it passes through, you see it turn and just kind of move away from her.
It's leaving. You couldn't touch it. You went right through it.
Nick,
The door
Stryker's not
locked.
your enemy. Nick, talk to me.
If you try the door, it didn't actually lock; it just slammed shut.
Okay. I think he's just gonna open the door. And
Oh, the light.
negate your power. And say, hey, kid, can you just listen to me before you knock the shit out of me?
Norman, you see him. As soon as the door opened and Stryker was standing there, you saw the form kind of get into like a lineman position, like he's gonna like barrel at Stryker again, but he hasn't actually lunged or anything.
Stryker, he looks like he's ready again.
Well, I'm gonna say my thing before I get knocked out the house. Then
Alright.
I'm not a replacement. I know I can't do that. You're always going to be her brother, and I'm gonna be me. I'm not trying to take your spot, whatever you think this is. Someone just helped me, and I want to help them. So, you gotta know this is not what your sister wants, right?
Roll provoke.
Hey, that's it.
Okay. You see, Norman. There's a hesitation, and then the form kind of leaves that position and kind of stands back upright, still between Stryker and Fee, but doesn't seem quite so ready to attack.
He's lowered the attack, but he's still being pretty guarding.
Well,
Fee reaches out her hand again and says, Nick, you know I will always love you. You will always be my little brother. And I'm sorry.
You see it kind of like you're because of the vague shape of like the face, you don't make out details, but you can tell
Mhm.
like where the nose would be, where the face is versus not, and you see it kind of turn towards Fee, and then Fee, you see it reach out, and Fee, you feel like something like lightly touch your hand again before you don't feel it anymore, but you still see him standing there. He's just not touching her after that initial pat, basically.
Nick,
He's listening.
you will always be my little brother. There's no one in this world that could take your place. I love you so much, Munchkin. I hope you know that.
Norman,
She puts her hand up again.
you see whenever she says that, you see the form kind of nod in response.
Is there a way I can maybe push the rest of the shadows away to maybe give a bit more of a solid form of the darkness they see? At least for her in the area next to him.
I mean, you could like basically create an aura of shadow around where it's standing, so they can see the shadow outline. They won't necessarily see him.
Alright, yeah. I'll try
for a
that.
second, I thought you were going to say stop him from existing. You're like,
That's not, no. I'm trying to let her have a more touching moment without me narrating whatever he does. Alright, what would that be then?
It'd still be unleash.
Okay.
you fail and he gets exploded from this.
Yeah, you see more shadow kind of form up and coalesce around, creating the outline of aura around somebody roughly Nick's size that you remember him being the last time you saw him, standing there next to you. The way the head is tilted, it looks like he's looking up at you.
She smiles at him again, and she just sort of can feel herself tearing up, and she sort of takes another step towards him.
As you take a step towards him, he suddenly like turns, and you see his head kind of look in another direction as he starts walking off, and you see the shadow form kind of walk up the stairs and around the corner away from where you can all see him unless you follow him directly. I don't know. That's up to y'all.
Fee follows him.
Yeah, I'm following.
Right, yeah, you follow him up to the stairs, and actually you see it kind of pass through into Fee's room. As you all go in, you see it kind of standing over your desk, and you see that outreached, like it's pointing to a picture, and it's a picture your mom had taken of the two of you at the lake.
I know, Nick. I know. I wish we could go back there too. I'd make sure it was different.
When you say that, he kind of pulls his arm back and then points at it again.
Fee walks over and touches the photo, looking back at the shadow form. What are you trying to tell me, Nick?
He points at you, and then he points at the photo.
I was there.
He does it again, pointing at you and then pointing to the photo.
Get in the position, like hook arm around him or something, maybe? if you guys are doing that. Does anyone have it? I have my phone. Can someone take a picture of them together?
Are you trying to tell me something, Nick?
He does it again.
What do you need to tell me? What do you need me to do, Nick? Tell me, I'll do it.
And you just see him kind of like his hand moving.
I think Stryker's gonna try to ask him a question and say, "Hey, kid, I'm gonna ask this because I know she's not going to. You don't blame her for what happened, do you?"
You see it, like the head shake side to side as he keeps pointing, like moving his fist back and forth, pointing like forcefully at the photo.
What's...
Is it in your hand? Have you touched it yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
What's...
Can we try to find him like a pen?
Can someone just take a picture of him?
Nick, there's someone else there that day?
You see him nod.
Oh.
Is that person the one who hurt you?
You see it nod.
She starts crying, I promise you, Nick, this person, they will meet justice. I promise. They will not get away with this. I'm so sorry, Nick.
As you say that, water just kind of manifests in the air and like wraps itself around you.
Oh.
And I sort of like hug it back because I'm assuming it's him.
Yeah, he doesn't move when it happens, but obviously there's a connection there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just still pointing at the picture, though.
Nick, are they in the picture?
Yeah, he shakes his head.
But I need to go back to the lake, don't I?
He nods.
Okay. I'll go back, Nick. I'll make sure that they never hurt anyone else again.
He nods and drops his arm, and then the shadows kind of disperse as the Norman, you see him vanish.
Mm-hmm. He's gone.
She takes a deep breath and nods. Yeah.
I wiped some sweat off my forehead. I'm assuming that was rather taxing.
Your eyes actually kind of hurt, too, a little bit. Like I said, they just feel sore, like you're strained.
Yes.
Fee gives everyone a hug. Thank you so much for helping me. It means a lot. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, well, we'll figure this out.
She nods, still sort of looking at the picture of her and her brother. And then she sort of looks up and smiles. Yes, we will. We'll figure everything out.
That seems like a good place to call it.
Mm-hmm. Phew.
Jeez.
I thought it was like a 99% chance that Norman was gonna have to slash her brother in half or something. So that was pretty nice.
Someday, a ghost shall die by your blade.
Yeah, I mean, it's already happened.
It didn't die, to your knowledge.
Well, it.
You stopped it.
Yeah.
You'll get a confirmed kill.
I mean, I equally cut it in half before. So.
It ain't confirmed.
Yeah. I'm glad every time we're about to split up, something happened to make us not split up.
Yeah.
I just kept waiting for like Stryker to try to console her by like hugging her or something, and it never happened.
Yeah, he was very adamant about not knowing what to do the whole time, so that was good. It worked out.
Yeah, I mean, because he doesn't. Like, until, like, I don't know, a couple months ago, he's never hugged a person, period.
That's true.
Like, he's completely socially inept. And you
Amphinos.
put a person like that in a situation this extreme for the only person they really care about, it's like, I don't know what to do, because the way I deal with this is fighting, and that's not the correct answer.
And he knows that, and that's why she was just like, no, it's okay. Keep Stryker calm. It's okay.
Like, this entire session was just a progressive thing of, like, increasing levels of helplessness, which drove him insane. They didn't know what to do with it. He fucking hates this. That everything that the big things we're fighting right now are fucking ghosts. You can't punch a ghost.
Well, I mean, you punched Nick Nack or whatever.
That ain't
Whatever.
that ain't a big problem. That was a minor annoyance.
It was Patty.
We're gonna do some ghost punching gloves. That's what we're gonna do. That's your Christmas present. Ghost punching gloves.
I mean, he won't object.
I mean, I could probably, if I could put shadows around a ghost, I could probably put some shadows around your fist.
You'll concede to that, I suppose.
If it lets him punch something, he'll concede to just about anything.
Whoa, okay, no.
I mean, it would technically just be like a way more inefficient way of me attacking, but
Yeah, but he's better at attacking than you, so it evens out.
And the point is, it makes him feel better. So, like, you know, that's worth everything.
Because right now, I think the only one of us who's killed somebody is him, and he'd like to keep it that way. So being able to actually, like, interface with an enemy we may or may not meet, like, in the future, we might have to deal with a superhero whose power is to just become intangible, and then I'll just be fucked.
well, I think being intangible is different from ghosts. I feel like if he was intangible, even I wouldn't be able to hit him.
I don't know, magic has a way of just kind of bullshitting through stuff like that.
I guess, yeah.
Except for sometimes.
Yeah, except for when you fail.
Don't worry, you'll get your luck chance.
Your day in the sun.
Yeah,
Yes.
at least you didn't crit fail that with 2 1s, because that would have been bad for everybody.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez. Turns out it does summon him, but it's angry.
I would have summoned something.
Oh.
I guess for my move, I guess I'd grow closer to Norman. He made a lot of honest concessions and asked for help very genuinely in ways that he never would in any other circumstance. Like, honestly, if Norman had pushed it a little bit, he would have even fucking bowed and then begged. Like,
I mean, it wasn't because of you, it was because of Fee, 100%.
yeah, like, yeah, but, you know, it's one of those things where it's
I get you.
that kind of exposing of oneself to another person does build trust in a way. And I mean, you would have more influence over me.
All right, I need to do that, huh?
Now you do need to move something.
I mean, I don't want to do this because it's your. Wait, I can't move danger, can I? Didn't you lock it
No.
or something? No. I mean, you were.
I mean, do
I
what
guess-
feels right without like metagaming for stat purposes.
Oh, I didn't know if he locked it or not. I thought I remember him locking something. I'm just trying to figure out. I was gonna say danger down, mundane up, but then again, we just were talking about how he wasn't exactly consoling her. I would maybe go.
I mean, I still talk to the kids instead of punching.
Yeah.
So superior, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's sort of the talking one. Are any of yours at 3 that I can't move up?
That literally you
This-
can't move up
this is-
danger, like, and you can't
Okay.
move down mundane because it flows.
Okay. Yeah, danger down, superior up, I guess.
Wow, I did not expect this reality where my superior stat is probably the best in the groups. Why the fuck am I the best at assessing the situation and provoking someone? I mean,
You also didn't expect to be the team leader, so here we are.
Yeah, this is getting weirder and weirder. The only way this could get stranger is if somehow my danger stat reached 0 at any point in this campaign. Then I think you just have an identity crisis, and I'd have to change Playbook.
I mean, think of it this way: on any other session, this wouldn't have happened. This is definitely the odd one out.
Yeah.
Where you weren't able to punch your way through stuff.
Instead, I got the shit kicked out of me. Thanks, Lucy.
You're welcome.
Alright, I guess I'll go next. Definitely grew closer to P. She entrusted the rest of the team with her secret, and I was actively trying to help her through the situation, so I think that's probably the one I grew closest to. So you can move me around as you wish.
I'd say freak up 1 because of you trying to use your powers.
Okie doke.
And then Shadow Cup. And then I actually say move danger down
Okay.
because you weren't really engaging. You were using your powers, but you weren't directly engaging.
Yeah. And even the one time I did, it was more of a ghost sheet. So
Yeah, you're definitely more the control wizard than you are the blow it up wizard in our group.
mhm. That's fine, because half the time I use Savior for my directly engaging. Yay. I just realized that Thomas doesn't have influence over me somehow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think at the beginning I only ended up giving it to 2 people, and I guess I
Wait.
just haven't given it to you yet.
Actually, that's really weird because I'm pretty sure Legacy is. Did somehow you lose? Maybe I just didn't write it down.
Ow.
Influence. Give influence to all your teammates. Influence over. I don't have influence over you. Sorry, never mind. You probably have influence over me. Other way around. Alright, anyways, who's next?
Yeah.
I'll go next if y'all don't mind.
No, go for it.
So I think I grew closer to just about everyone on the team. But probably Norman the most, since she was relying on him to sort of help her communicate with her brother.
Yay. Do you have any at 3?
I have 2 at 3. I have freak and danger.
Oh. I don't even know how you do that.
I have a savior of -1 and a superior of -2 and a mundane of 0. So that would be how.
Superior's at -2, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, poop, I was gonna move that down to mundane up. I guess mundane up for sure, as this was sort of the whole.
Right.
This wasn't. I mean, I guess it was technically a supernatural situation, but it was mostly emotional. I guess freak down. You definitely were normalized throughout this session, especially compared to other sessions.
Axeman Norman going for all the primary stats of playbooks. All got to go down.
I'm sorry. This was a different session than the rest of them. I feel bad, but it's sort of what I felt.
Never forgive.
We got one more boy.
All right, and with that, I think I marked a potential, so I believe that's 5.
Ooh, oh yeah, I also marked potential.
Woohoo!
Ooh, what are you gonna get?
I'm debating.
Thomas, into session.
I will actually say further from the team. I know everything worked out, and I know that what I was trying to do was well beyond what I'm able to do, or my capabilities right now. But I tried to do something big to help out, and it flat out did not work. So I am kind of pissed at myself because of that right now. So.
All right. Who do you take influence away from?
That's where I'm torn. I think the only 2 people that have it right now are Stryker and Fee. So out of the 2, I'd say Fee, just because this whole thing was centered more around her, and it's her I was trying to help, I guess.
Okay.